Good day, everyone. I want to share my near-death experience with you. I have always loved serving God and being active in my church community. For some time now, I've been struggling with an unusual chest pain. At first, it was just a mild discomfort, but as months passed, it became more severe. The burning sensation would come and go unexpectedly, sometimes waking me in the middle of the night. Even though the pain was troubling, I was determined not to let it hinder my dedication to God's work. After months of enduring the pain, I finally decided to visit a doctor. I had hoped it would go away on its own, but it became clear that I couldn't ignore it any longer. Tests were done, and the diagnosis was angina pectoris, a condition caused by reduced blood flow to the heart, resulting in the burning pain I had been feeling. The news was hard to process, but I chose to lean on my faith. As the doctor explained the condition, I prayed silently, asking God for strength and guidance to face this challenge. One evening, during a church service, the pain hit me harder than ever before. We were praying and worshiping together when, suddenly, the burning sensation in my chest became unbearable. I was sitting quietly, listening to the pastor's message, when the sharp pain spread across my chest. It felt as though my chest was on fire, and breathing became almost impossible. People around me quickly noticed that something was wrong. They gathered around, praying fervently for my healing. Despite their prayers, the pain didn't ease, and someone called for an ambulance. Others helped me stand, and I was slowly guided toward the exit. As I walked, the pain grew so overwhelming that I felt I could no longer go on. I was exhausted, and for a moment I wanted to give up. But just as I felt myself letting go, something incredible happened. The pain completely vanished. It felt as though a heavy burden had been lifted, and I could breathe freely once more. When I opened my eyes, I realized something extraordinary. I wasn't in my body anymore. Instead, I was floating above it, looking down at the church scene below. I could see myself surrounded by people who were still praying over me. Although they were worried, I felt an overwhelming peace unlike anything I had ever experienced. I wanted to reassure them that I was no longer in pain, but I couldn't communicate with them. As I hovered above, I felt a strong, gentle pull drawing me away from the church. A brilliant, warm light appeared in the distance, and I felt compelled to follow it. As I moved closer, the light began to fade, and I found myself surrounded by darkness. This darkness wasn't frightening, but it felt vast and empty. Before I could fully understand where I was, I arrived in a desolate and barren land. The air was thick with the sound of wailing and cries of anguish. I looked around and saw countless souls in torment. The sheer despair in that place was overwhelming. But strangely, I remained calm. Beside me, I sensed a quiet, guiding presence. Though I couldn't see who or what it was, this presence led me through the chaotic scenes without saying a word. Together, we moved unnoticed through this grim realm. The deeper we went, the more I saw that this place, hell, was far more organized than I had imagined. We passed through various areas, each filled with different forms of suffering. It became clear that the torments were specific to the sins of the people during their earthly lives. The presence beside me remained silent, but its guidance was clear as it showed me the depths of this terrifying place. We arrived at an especially dark and oppressive section of hell. Here, I saw countless Muslims who had rejected Jesus Christ. They were confined to a massive, cavernous space filled with unrelenting torment. Demons mocked and tortured them mercilessly as they cried out in agony. Many souls called upon Muhammad for help, but their cries went unanswered. Their pleas only seemed to fuel the cruelty of their tormentors. The sight was horrifying, yet the presence led me onward to another section of hell. This area was different, but just as horrifying. I saw atheists, those who had denied the existence of God during their lives. Here, enormous black birds with sharp beaks relentlessly attacked the souls, targeting their eyes and other sensitive areas. The cries of pain were deafening. Demons added to their torment by mocking them for their disbelief. Some souls screamed that they now believed in God, but their confessions only brought more suffering. The demons laughed cruelly, telling them it was too late for repentance. Next, we moved to another grim section. This area was reserved for those who had claimed to be Christians, but had not truly lived in faith. The hypocrisy of their lives had led them to this place. Souls were tightly packed together, and the demons took particular pleasure in tormenting them. The pain was both physical and emotional, as the demons ridiculed them for pretending to follow God. These souls cried out for another chance, but their pleas were met with even greater cruelty. As I stood there, watching the unimaginable suffering, the presence beside me gently took my hand. Suddenly I felt a powerful force pulling me away from the darkness. It was as though I was being yanked back toward the light. In an instant, I found myself in the hospital, looking down at my body as doctors worked urgently to revive me. I felt my spirit being drawn back into my body, and when I opened my eyes, I was alive again. The pain and torment of hell were gone, but the memory of what I had seen remained vivid. This experience left me with an unshakable conviction. Hell is real, and the suffering there is beyond anything we can imagine. I urge everyone to reflect deeply on their relationship with God. Serving God is not about appearances or empty words. It's about genuine faith and living according to His will. Muslims, atheists, and even those who claim to be Christians must take this warning seriously. True faith in Jesus Christ is the only way to avoid such a fate. Repentance must be heartfelt, and our lives must reflect God's truth. Hell is not a place anyone wants to be, and it's not too late to turn to Jesus and embrace Him fully. Let this be a call to action. Choose Christ now, while you still can. Brothers and sisters, this is the end of the video. If you found this message powerful or eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Help us spread this message to as many people as possible. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you all.